Yo guys, what's up? It's Inflexxius. Today we're playing Jax into Quinn top. Horrible matchup for Jax. Really terrible. But you know what? We're gonna see what we can try to do in it. So, we turn the corner into Quinn here. I decided level Q to try to mess with her. She E's me as soon as I Q her, and then she proceeds to use her fleet footwork movement speed to gun me down until I get to the bush. So that right there was a prime example of what not to do in this matchup. Do not try to contest Quinn at level 1, otherwise she's going to murderize you and then proceed to zone you off of XP, like she is doing to me right now. So, just level Counter-Strike, just level your E, and play safe and get the CS that you can, and use Counter-Strike to block her autos. So, if you guys look at the bottom right of the screen, you guys will see my rune page. Do not pick that rune page. I was trying something with this rune page. It did not work. Do not pick this rune page. Pick this rune page instead. The second wind helps a lot, and the biscuits help with sustain, but also they help a lot with mana, which you need mana in this lane. You need to have biscuits in this lane. So, right now I'm just chilling, playing super safe, just letting the wave push towards me. If you're worried about getting dove, you can drink your potion right now as well. I personally I'm not that worried about getting dove because we can see Zac mid, so I don't have to worry too much about their jungler. Because that's the trick. Second wind and D-shield both work better the lower health you are, right? They heal more the lower health you are. So you want to play that balancing act of letting yourself drop as low as possible without dying, so that you can get maximum value out of the D-shield and second wind healing. So Jarvan's walking up here to set up for a gank. I leap onto her, she E's me, and I flash to land the stun. Jarvan forces her flash with a well-placed EQ, good job by him. Quinn does damage to him on his way back while he's leaving. Because I don't have my Counter-Strike yet, I can't jump on her. Jarvan comes in for another gank here, a re-gank. Unfortunately, Zac is here. We stun him, we leap out, disengage from the fight entirely. Jarvan loops around back top lane here to set up another gank. Now, this is a 2v2 situation here. Zac is topside, so this is very likely going to be a situation where the junglers and the top laners are just fighting it out 2v2. So right now I'm just trying to look for an opening to set up a gank. I'm trying to wait for Quinn to walk up too far, and now I can leap behind her onto the minions. I can leap onto the minions behind her, so that if she E's me, she doesn't E towards the safety of her tower. Here Zac is back though, but we managed to just walk away here. Wave is pushing towards her, so it's not great. And we have to get out of here because we see Akali walking up the river. And that's the thing, we couldn't take that fight because we actually saw Akali walk up from mid lane upwards to top side, so here Jarvan calls for a play. It's actually a good play. He makes it look like he doesn't have vision on the Zac. Really good call by the Jarvan actually for this play on the Zac here. Sylas walks up for that extra security. We secure the kill on the Zac, really good stuff. So, because I don't have biscuits, I actually have to go corrupting potion for the mana sustain. I TP very quickly. I don't want to wait for the 300 gold for an extra item because I want to contest this Quinn. I don't want to be able to shove the wave and recall for free here. I want to be able to use this health lead to force a freeze to make her lose minions. So here, I thin the wave so that I can recall and the minion wave won't crash before I get back. I use the money that I got to buy myself a cloth armor. Although in this matchup, I would recommend getting boots instead of cloth armor in this spot. You guys will see why. I'm getting the cloth armor to start working towards my plated steel caps though, because plated steel caps rush versus Quinn is optimal. So I tried another trade there, where I tried to run past her so that she couldn't E towards her tower, but then she just E'd up to the jungle, and then used her fleet footwork and W passive to disengage. Here I tried again, but again I can't. So at this point, I accept, okay, I cannot land an E, right? And I tried to experiment with some E trading there. It doesn't work. So there's only one real way for me to win these trades at this point, right? And that's QW onto her and then use my E to disengage the trade without taking too much damage, right? Use my E to block the damage on the way out after she E's me. That's basically the only trade that you can win is that, because you don't even get a chance to auto-attack her usually, right? So you just QW, there I got a chance to auto-attack her. But usually it's just QW. You see there, she wanted to follow me while my E was up so that she could auto-attack me. After my E wore off to, you know, so that she could auto-attack me after my E wore off to equalize the trade. However, I walked towards her for a second, which caused her to walk back because she didn't want to get stunned. And then I walked away, you know. That's how you outspace her in this matchup, right? So, this is a matchup where spacing is pretty handy, and that's why I would recommend getting boots for the extra movement speed. You see here, I try to space into her, but she outspaces me, she manages to step back. You see, if I had boots there, I probably land the stun, and then I can walk out, right? And that's why I recommend getting boots instead of cloth armor first in this matchup. But either way, we work towards us plated steel caps, because the plated steel caps are really good versus Quinn. They give you that movement speed, they give you that auto-attack damage resistance. So here, I can't really aggress on her, because I don't know where Zac is, and that pink in the bush is, you know, dominating the vision there. That's another reason why you need biscuits, by the way, is because, oh, 1 second. So, here, I go in, I try to land the stun on Quinn, but because Jarvan was coming up for the gank, but Quinn flashes out, that's fine. So another reason why biscuits are super important is that otherwise you have to go corrupting potion to have enough mana to play the lane. And that delays your plated steel caps a lot. And plated steel caps are super important in this matchup. So, Quinn backed. She comes in on the bird. I try to see if I can contest her here. Unfortunately, Zac is here, so I have to flash out. I panic ult a bit. Zac flashes onto me. Uses his ult to knock me further away from the tower, but I can just leap onto the ward and get away. Now I have to sack, like, plates and waves and stuff, right? I don't really have a choice in that. So here I grab a few minions, and then I sack that last minion so that I can go run down the Quinn so that she can't back. So, here I stun her and I walk in front of her so that she can't just eat her tower, right? Here she ignites me and starts gunning me down in the bushes. Now you might think, Inflexxius, you're 2 levels lower than the Quinn. Is it a good idea to be jumping on her like that? And I would say to you, clearly not, because I just got obliterated. So here I jump on her like this because I felt confident that she wouldn't be able to get a really good counter trade on me because she was too deep under my tower. But I'm in a really bad spot now, right? Like, under tower, low health versus Quinn, not great, right? See, here, jump on her, use my E to block auto attacks. And she just hits me with another auto attack and the tower just does not care, like... She's weaving between these tower bolts so well, it makes me sad. But I am getting gank assistance because a half-health Quinn harassing you under tower should get punished. Thank you, team. So she gets just 3-man ganked with my Sylas and my Jarvan here. And I can just go back to lane. Quinn's mid, I see Quinn is mid. So I decide to just hard shove this wave here. And see if I can grab some plates. Quinn dies, so that means I can probably get some plates here. I get at least 1 plate. But now Akali's here. Now, the thing about Akali is that I'm giving her a lot of respect, because the thing about Akali versus Jax is that if you do not have any MR versus Akali, she will one-shot you. And you see, I jumped on her, and then I got one-shot. So, 0 MR means you cannot contest Akali. She will just obliterate you. So I want to catch this wave and then I want to recall because I have enough health. I don't think I'm going to get dove outright, right? But I also want this wave, this cannon wave, right? I don't think I'll get dove outright, but now I'm getting chunked out a bit. So I can grab this minion and then I have to leave because if I take a little bit more damage, she just dives me and kills me. So unfortunately, I do have to sack the tower here. I get my coal fields, I get a ruby crystal working towards my divine sunderer. There's a fight in mid lane. Unfortunately, Quinn is obviously going to go down there and clean up. So it's a 2 for 2 in mid lane. I decide to just shove the top lane here, because keeping pressure on in the side lane when you're behind means somebody has to come answer you. And you see Quinn is coming to answer me now, right? So I'm going to try to disengage from this fight here. I managed to melee range her with the E, I land the stun, and I think maybe I can fight her here. But no. Obviously not. She has her Kraken Slayer, and I do not have my item, so of course. Now, what happened there was I tried to ward hop, but my Q was on cooldown, so then I flashed immediately. Yeah, we don't talk about that too much. Another fight in mid lane here. Team loses it 4v4, unfortunate. But you see, I'm just going top lane here to keep applying pressure in the side lane. I want Quinn to keep focused on me, right? Here she comes at me again, even. I try to ward hop, but she blinds me with her Q, which tilts me so hard every time it happens. She gets on the bird to chase me down. This red buff is making it hard. I managed to step back into her to land the stun, thank goodness, because if I don't land that stun, I die. And Sylas and Rakan show up to set up a play on the Quinn. Akali starts TPing in. I'm ready to TP if I need to. Akali ults in, so I'm ready to TP in. They engage on the Quinn here, and we can finish her off. And I secure the kill for a big fat shutdown. Really nice. Akali to contest me in the side lane again. Again, I can't mess with her because I have no MR. Rakan engages and dies, and then Jarvan tries to follow up engage and then proceeds to die as well. So whoopsie daisy by them. Here we see the Quinn. She gets rooted by the Xayah. I jump in because I'm expecting it for it to be at worst a 1-for-1. However, then their whole team just shows up from our jungle and we all die. I was willing to take that 1-for-1, right? Because I'm weak. If I can take Quinn off the map, then she's worth more than I am. That's super worth, right? However, then we all died, and that sucked. But I'm always willing to trade 1-for-1 for somebody that's worth more than I am. So, I go back top lane here. After covering mid for a second, I go back top lane here. Because I want to keep the side lanes pressured. I want to keep pushing these side lanes in to get people to come deal with me so that I can waste their time, basically. While, with the side effect of also, you know, getting farm off that. Here I jump on the Quinn, I make sure to walk past her so that she can't E me towards her base. But she just walks away from me with just the movement speed of her fleet footwork and her W passive. But here comes my team. Rakan flash W's in, lands it. Quinn flashes the wall. Xayah flashes after her. And here, you know, they definitely needed my help there. I definitely made sure that they definitely wouldn't have gotten that kill without me there. And we just run down the Draven here after he takes our tier 2 tower. But you know what? We get the Draven. That's fine. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying the commentary and the gameplay, then remember to like and subscribe. So, unfortunately, it works out well in mid lane. Jarvan lands the engage, Zac is engaging, so I TP in, because I want to help this dragon fight, right? I want to try to secure this dragon fight. I flash over to try to kill the Zac, then Zac presses R though, and then Radiant Virtue starts healing him along with him picking up blobs, and then he becomes just unkillable. Draven just obliterates me while my counter-strike is on cooldown. He's got a lot of items, he's really fed. So I cannot stand up to this Draven unless I have my counter-strike running. But my team does manage to win the fight. And we do manage to get the dragon. So now, I go bot lane here. I want to be pushing a side lane. I want to be pushing a side lane to keep people coming to me, right? It's a way to get gold. And also, if I'm useless, me dying is not that terrible, right? But me wasting the time of people that's more valuable than me is not bad. Now, obviously, you don't want to die if you can avoid it. But the weaker you are, the less important it is that you don't die, right? Obviously, at certain crucial moments, it's really important that you don't die, but like, in general. So here I'm just holding the Quinn in the side lane. If I can just protect this tower, waste this Quinn's time, hold her here, then that's super good as well, right? I finished my Sterax because well, Sylas is coming in for a gank. Hold on, let's talk about this play first. So, Sylas is coming in for a gank, but he decides to call it. They start doing Baron because 2 show bot, as they should. Sylas starts TPing up. Quinn moves in to stop the TP. I ward hop over to be able to land the stun. And then we take Quinn out. I run up to Baron to secure the... if my team wants to make a play on them, so that I can be there. And here they are, we're messing with them in their jungle, so I'm looking for to assist my team right now. I'm looking for a play to assist my team right now. I try to leap onto the Draven here, but he cancels it with his E, and that's a disaster, right? That's an absolute disaster. Me missing, me getting my my Q cancelled by Draven's E, absolutely horrendous. Like, I think we would have lost that fight anyway, but me getting my Q cancelled by that Draven was one of the worst things that could have happened that fight. You can't let that happen if you're playing Jackson to Draven, right? It's his only play against you, and if he can do it, then the fight is going to be a lot harder than it otherwise would need to be. So yeah, back to pushing out side lanes, opposite side of the map, of the objective, because I have TP, I want to leverage my TP advantage. So I went Sterak's to help with the burst of the Akali and the Zac and the Quinn, because they do have a lot of burst on their team. Sterak's is just really nice against burst, and just a really solid item in for team fighting for Jax in general. So here, we're duking it out versus... Draven starts hitting me, I use my E to block his damage. Rakan has a really nice engagement to the Draven. I managed to get my counter-strike back and start beating onto the Draven. You see, this is the difference between if I can get onto the Draven and if he cancels my Q. Zac goes down, I jump onto the Quinn to keep her from killing my Xayah. Akali comes in, one-shots me. But now Sylas and Jarvan just keep beating on these two. So, I'm going Spear of Shojin second, because I really want some ability haste. Because I don't have Ionian Boots, right? I want to play Steel Caps, so I only have the ability haste from Divine Sunderer. So I'm going Spear of Shojin, because I really want Caulfield's and Kindle Gem. Because once you get some ability haste, you can start beating Quinn in the side lane, right? Because you need to have your Q on a short cooldown to be able to fight the Quinn. So here I sit in the bush, the tower is really low. I'm either trying to bait Quinn into pushing on the tower, because I think I can fight her now, or I wanted the cannon minion to kill the tower without anybody there to accept the gold. So I flash onto the Quinn to chase her down. Leap onto her again when my W comes back up. I counter-strike here to limit the damage I take, but I shouldn't have actually. I should have held it until my Q came back. Because I had my Sterak's, I wasn't going to get one shot in her in the Q blind. I had my Sterak's, I wouldn't have gotten one shot in that. So I could afford not to use my E until my Q came back, at which point I would be able to stun her and finish her off more cleanly. So I recall and run top lane to help my team and try to make a play around Baron, because Quinn was dead, right? We had a numbers advantage. Here I'm just setting up to cut off the Akali. I ult immediately because I don't want to get one shot by Akali. If I don't get that MR, I get one shot by the Akali. Akali has no shroud though, so it's going to be hard for her to enter the team fight. I now at this point join the fight after zoning Akali, and we take out the Quinn, we take out the Zac. Akali's behind us, but she's not going to be much of a threat right now. Or not too much of a threat right now. Sylas lands the chains while we start the Baron. Akali comes out of her shroud here. I just jump on her, I keep beating on her. Akali ults away. Jarvan flash ults onto her. I try to finish off this Maokai. So the only way that this Maokai doesn't die is if he Qs me on my Q. And that's exactly what happens here. Because I suck at the game, I made it so obvious. I made it so obvious that I was going to Q when I Q'd by telegraphing with my Counter-Strike. So that was just horrible by me. And then this is also horrible by me. In retrospect, with Draven having ulted at that timing on the dragon, we should have known that they would have vision on the dragon. So me recalling by the dragon there, absolutely horrible. I get caught for no reason. That's my bad. I finish my Spear of Shojin for that ability haste. Jarvan goes down as well, Rakan died as well. Like, it's just terrible. Like, we could possibly lose the game here, right? Getting caught right there, like, could have possibly lost us the game there, right? Rakan tries to go in again, but he dies immediately again. But they don't keep pushing, thank goodness. We see Quinn on our Crux. I have my Spear of Shojin now, I'm at 3 items. I can fight her. So, position myself that she eats herself into the wall instead of a direction she'd want to run, and we just jump on her again. And that's why the Q cooldown is so important, because you need to be able to keep jumping on her like that. The fight's too far away from me, so I decide to just beat on the Zac here. While I make my way to the fight, I decide to go for the Akali because I can't kill Zac, right? Jax doesn't have on-demand CC to cancel Zac's E, and if you don't have on-demand CC to cancel Zac's E, he's just gonna walk away from you, E, channel up an E, and then launch himself over 2 walls, and then he's gone, right? Then he disappears into the fog of war, and then you never see him again. So I go top lane here, shove out the wave, and then I start working towards my wit's end for the MR against the Akali and the Zac, because Zac may be a tank, but he really does solid damage. So, a fight's breaking out here. I TP in when it looks like they're gonna commit. Akali kind of ults in and then gets CC'd and immediately dies. Quinn goes in and starts proxying us while we push out the wave here. And then she goes for an inhib, but it's fine. I'm perfectly willing to sacrifice anything that I need to. Why? Because this is Soul. This is Dragon Soul. Nexus Tower? I mean, that's more than I thought she'd take. But that's fine. Now, I'm chasing after the Quinn here because we have our Jarvan and our Sylas to cut her off. I see, okay, they have her there. They should be able to kill her 2v1. However, then they actually get played and Sylas goes down. So then I start moving over to help again. Akali TP's in. And, yeah. Quinn goes down and the only thing that the Akali TP did was get herself killed, so that's fantastic. I go in here to shove out the super minion wave, and then I recall so that I can finish my Wit's End. The attack speed from the Wit's End is also going to help a lot versus just working down the Zac in fights. So that's going to help. We get the Baron here, and a fight starts to break out here. We have Quinn on the side, we have Zac in front. I set up here to go potentially jump on the Quinn, but she just gets one shot, so I don't need to, so then I just focus the Zac here. I'm just being an extra DPS onto the Zac right now. Now, I figure that they're going to be able to kill the Zac by themselves. So I walk down to the fight, but then I realize, oh wow, Zac isn't actually dead. They actually couldn't do it. So I walk back up to fight the Zac again. I go over here to shove out the super minions. And now the super nice thing, right, is that with Ocean Soul, I'm going to sustain up in the side lane. And Wit's End is going to help a lot killing these super minions because super minions are weak to magic damage. And the on-hit effect from the Wit's End is going to obviously help with that, right? So we get the Scuttle, shove out another wave here. I don't want to push too hard, I don't want to pressure too hard now, because my team's not applying pressure, right? But I can just go in and snatch this tower real quick. I don't want to back right now because I'm really close to my Black Cleaver. However, a fight starts to break out here. So I TP in. Finish off the Zac. I go for the Quinn here, actually. I flash onto her, because if we kill enough people here, we might be able to end the game. So, I'm really hungry for the kills right now. That's 3 down, 4 down. Draven's dead as well. And then we can just end their aced, we can take out their next towers, and yeah, that's that. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope to see you in the next one.